Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever, noticed how whenever money stuff comes up, instead of feeling all like, I got this, you end
Mhm.
up feeling more like you're staring at one of those super complicated jigsaw puzzles,
Yeah.
but missing, half the pieces,
Yeah, totally.
even when it seems like everyone else has it all figured out.
It's like you're looking through this like foggy window, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's that whole feeling of being kind of baffled by personal finance. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. But get this.
Yeah.
We're not going to be all, dissecting the latest crazy stock market news or anything like that.
Oh, interesting.
Instead, we're going to time travel thousands of years back to ancient Babylon, that
Yeah.
civilization famous for being crazy rich.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but how does that connect to our wallets today?
Well, we're going to extract some surprisingly practical financial wisdom from this classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason.
Oh, I've heard of that book.
Right. It was written way back in the 1920s, but it's still super relevant today.
Huh. That's pretty impressive for a book about money.
Yeah. And even the Los Angeles Times said it's an awesome, easy to understand breakdown of money principles.
Okay, I'm starting to see where we're going with this.
It works for total beginners and even those seasoned investors, the ones who think they've heard it all.
Makes sense. So what's the big mission for today's deep dive then?
We're digging deep to uncover those timeless, powerful laws of getting money, the principles that haven't changed for 6,000 years.
Wow, 6,000 years. Like, are we talking like the law of gravity here?
Pretty much. We're looking at how these ancient insights can help you go from feeling, frustrated with a lean purse
Yeah, who doesn't feel that sometimes?
to
Yeah.
living a life full of abundance and honestly more happiness.
Sounds like a plan. So, like, what's the big takeaway from all this Babylonian wisdom?
Well, the core promise is that by really understanding and actually using these principles, you can gain this practical, actionable knowledge
Okay.
to really achieve those unique financial goals you have.
Right, the things that really matter to you.
Exactly. Okay, so let's break down how the richest man in Babylon lays out this foundational understanding of money. Right from the beginning, the book gets straight to the point about what money really represents.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It basically says money is the ultimate measuring stick, like the yardstick we use to size up our earthly success.
Mm. So it's how we measure achievement in the material world, basically.
Right, it's the tangible evidence of all those efforts we make in the economic world.
So it's not just about keeping score. There's got to be more to it than that.
Yeah, you got it. The Babylonian principles really highlight how money is that key that unlocks the ability to, experience the very best that life has to offer.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Think about it, traveling to other cultures, eating amazing food, having a secure and comfortable home, all these things are made so much easier if you have enough money.
True, true. Money definitely opens up a lot of possibilities.
Right. But here's something super encouraging. The book doesn't say money is some, super scarce resource, only for the lucky few.
Okay, good, because that would be depressing.
I know, right? Instead, it says money is actually plentiful, abundant even.
Oh, right.
It's available to anyone who, takes the time to really understand those simple laws of how wealth grows over time.
So it's like learning the rules of the game.
Precisely. And what's even cooler, the book stresses how timeless these laws are. They worked 6,000 years ago in Babylon,
That's crazy.
and they still work in our crazy, fast-paced world today.
So while the tech we use and the, what are they called, financial instruments have changed,
Yeah, all those fancy financial things.
the basic rules of money are still the same.
Exactly. It's like the foundation of the money game never changes.
Okay, that's kind of reassuring in a weird way.
Right. So on that foundation, the book lays out what it calls the 7 cures for a lean purse.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are these 7 cures?
Basically, they're practical steps, almost like actionable principles, to build a solid base for your financial well-being.
Like a financial first aid kit.
Yeah, kind of. And the very first one is so straightforward. Start thy puss to fattening.
That sounds old-timey. What does that even mean?
It's all about consistently saving a chunk of every single dollar you earn, no matter what.
Okay, so the classic pay yourself first advice.
You got it. The book uses this cool analogy of an egg merchant to explain this. Imagine this. Every morning, he puts 10 eggs in a basket. At the end of the day, he takes out only 9.
So he's always adding more than he's taking out.
Exactly. And what happens? The basket overflows with eggs. The book says the same thing happens with your money.
even if you only save a little bit, it adds up over time.
Yep. And it stresses how good it feels to, like, physically see your savings grow, you know?
Yeah, like you can actually feel the weight of it in your hand. That's pretty motivating.
Right. Okay, cure number 2 might make some people groan a little, but it's crucial. Control thy expenditures.
Uh-oh, budgeting time.
You know it. But hold on, the book doesn't frame it as some restrictive killjoy thing.
Oh, good, because that's usually how it feels.
Instead, it's about being strategic, making sure you've got enough for the things you need and the things you truly value.
So, like, prioritizing what's really important.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of the difference between, like, your core needs and those random impulsive wants.
You know, the things that sound good in the moment but don't really matter in the long run.
Exactly. And the book uses this awesome image of a pack ass getting ready for a long journey.
Wait, what? Like a donkey?
Yeah, a donkey. He's packing his bags, basically budgeting what to bring, and he's going to prioritize the essentials.
So, like food, water, the stuff he needs to survive and complete the trip.
Precisely. He's not going to weigh himself down with, like, random gold bars or fancy jewels.
So, a budget is like our packing list for our financial journey.
You got it. It helps us make sure we're carrying what's truly important, and it reveals those sneaky little leaks in our spending.
Oh, like those subscriptions we forgot we signed up for.
Exactly. And then we can redirect that money towards things that actually make us happy.
I like it, making our money work for us instead of disappearing into the void.
Right. Okay. You're saving consistently
Mm-hmm.
and you're budgeting like a pro. What's the next big move?
Let me guess. Investing.
Ding, ding, ding. Cure number 3, make thy gold multiply.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these cures build on each other.
Exactly. This cure is all about the idea that money just sitting there isn't really doing much.
Right, it needs to be working for you, not just collecting dust.
Precisely. Investing is how you make your savings actually grow.
So instead of a stagnant puddle, it becomes like a flowing river.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
The book gives us Arkad's own story to illustrate this. Back in the day, he lent some copper to a shield maker.
Not as a gift, right? Like an investment.
You got it. He expected rental income in return for the use of his copper. Over 50 years, that investment multiplied almost 17 times.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right. So it's all about creating a steady stream of wealth flowing back to you.
Makes sense. So in today's world, that could be anything from high-yield savings accounts to stocks and bonds, even rental properties.
Exactly. There are so many options, but the core idea is the same. Make your money work for you. Okay, as your wealth starts growing, you got to protect it, right?
Yeah, you don't want to lose all that hard-earned cash. What's the book say about that?
Cure number 4, guard thy treasures from loss.
Ah, the wise words of caution.
Exactly. This one warns against blindly jumping into risky investments you don't understand.
So like those get-rich-quick schemes that always seem too good to be true.
Right. It stresses protecting your initial investment and seeking advice from people who actually know their stuff.
Like actual financial experts, not your buddy who claims to have made a killing on crypto.
Precisely. And to drive home this point, Arkad tells us how he lost a whole year's worth of savings early on.
Oh no, what happened?
He trusted a brickmaker who said he'd buy rare jewels overseas. Turns out, the guy had zero clue about jewels.
Ouch. So Arcad ended up with worthless glass instead of precious gems.
Exactly. The brickmaker wasn't the right person to ask about jewels, right?
Yeah, kind of like asking a baker about astronomy.
Exactly. And that's the analogy the book uses. It says, don't take financial advice from someone who's totally clueless.
Makes sense. You want to learn from those who have a proven track record.
Exactly. Cure number 5 moves beyond just protecting your money. It talks about another kind of investment.
Interesting. What kind?
It's about making your dwelling a profitable investment.
You mean like buying a house?
You got it.
Yeah.
The book champions home ownership, not just as a place to live, but as a smart financial move.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that owning a home can be a good investment. How does the book explain it?
It contrasts the stability of owning your place with a constant drain of renting.
With renting, you're just paying someone else's mortgage and not building any equity for yourself, right?
Exactly. Plus, the book talks about the importance of having a safe and comfortable home for your family.
A place where kids can grow and thrive and partners can build a strong foundation.
Yeah, it's about more than just finances. It's about creating a haven for your loved ones.
Makes sense. Okay, so what's cure number 6 about?
It's all about looking ahead, ensure a future income.
Okay, so thinking about the long term and preparing for the unexpected.
You got it. Now, Modern insurance as we know it didn't exist back in Babylon, but the core principle is the same.
Planning for the future and minimizing risks.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The book points out the limitations of just stashing away your treasure.
Yeah, I mean, someone could steal it or it could get damaged or lost.
Exactly. It subtly hints at the need for something like insurance to deal with those risks.
So even thousands of years ago, people were thinking about how to protect their wealth.
Absolutely. And this cure also touches on other important aspects of financial planning, like paying off debts,
Yeah, that's a big one.
taking care of your family's financial security, and creating a will to ensure your assets are handled according to your wishes.
So it's a holistic approach to building a secure financial future.
Exactly. And finally, cure number 7 hits on a principle that underpins all financial success. Increase thy ability to earn.
So it's not just about managing money, it's about growing your earning power.
Precisely. The book makes it clear. Always strive to improve your skills, expand your knowledge, become more valuable in your work.
Basically, invest in yourself.
Exactly. Your earning power is your most powerful wealth-building tool. Okay, so those are the 7 cures, the practical steps for building a solid financial future.
Yeah, that was a great breakdown. They seem pretty straightforward, but I guess the challenge is actually implementing them.
You got it. The Richest Man in Babylon goes even deeper, offering what it calls the 5 laws of gold.
Intriguing. What are these laws all about?
They provide even more nuanced insights into how wealth works, how to grow it, and importantly, how to keep it.
Sounds like the advanced class after the 7 cures.
Exactly. Law number 1 echoes a principle we've already discussed. Gold comes gladly, an increasing quantity, to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family.
Okay, so emphasizing saving yet again. But there's more to it than that, right?
You got it. This law highlights the idea that as your savings grow, they actually attract more wealth.
Like a money magnet.
Kind of. It creates this snowball effect of accumulating wealth.
So the more you save, the easier it becomes to save even more.
Exactly. Law number 2 builds on this. Gold labors diligently for its wise owner who finds profitable employment for it.
So this ties back to investing, making sure your money is working hard for you.
Precisely. And it emphasizes being wise about your investments, seeking out profitable opportunities.
And not just throwing your money at any random scheme that comes along.
Exactly. Law number 3 reinforces this. Gold clings to the prudent owner who invests it under the advice of wise men.
So the importance of seeking expert advice, just like in cure number 4.
You got it. Don't go it alone. Get guidance from people who know what they're doing.
It's like having a financial mentor to help you navigate the complexities.
Exactly. Law number 4 serves as a warning. Gold slips away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar or which are not recommended by those skilled in its keep.
So don't put your money into things you don't understand.
Exactly. Don't venture into areas where you lack knowledge, and don't ignore expert advice.
It's like trying to perform surgery without any medical training.
A bit dramatic, but you get the point. Stick to what you know,
Yeah.
or at least get expert guidance before you risk your money.
Makes sense. Okay, so what's the final law all about?
It's a crucial one. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who follows the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts his own inexperience in romantic desires and investment.
Wow, that's a mouthful, but it sounds like a powerful warning.
It is. It's all about avoiding those get-rich-quick schemes and not letting your emotions cloud your judgment.
So don't fall for those promises of unrealistic returns that are probably too good to be true.
Right. Don't get swept up by greed or wishful thinking. Stay rational and disciplined.
It's about making informed decisions based on facts, not on hype or emotions.
You got it. The Richest Man in Babylon goes beyond just rules and cures. It also emphasizes the importance of taking action.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing the principles, it's about actually doing something with them.
Exactly. It's about seizing opportunities when they arise. It introduces the idea that what we call good luck often comes down to being prepared to act.
So luck favors the bold, the ones who are ready to take the leap.
Precisely. The book tells a story of an elderly merchant who had a chance to buy a flock of sheep at a bargain price.
Sounds like a good deal. What happened?
He hesitated, procrastinated, and missed out on a huge profit because others were quicker to act.
Ouch. That's got to be frustrating, seeing a golden opportunity slip away.
It highlights how delaying action, even when the opportunity seems obvious, can lead to missed financial gains.
So it's about overcoming that inertia, that tendency to overthink things and not act.
Exactly. And the book reinforces this with a quote from a desert traveler. Good luck favors those who are ready to act upon opportunity.
So it's not just about luck. It's about being prepared and willing to seize the moment.
Right. And the book even says that procrastination is an enemy that must be conquered if you want to achieve financial success.
So it's about being proactive, not reactive.
Precisely. It personifies good luck as a goddess who favors those who are men and women of action.
So it's not about waiting for things to happen. It's about making things happen.
Exactly. Now, another crucial part of this financial journey is addressing debt. And the richest man in Babylon does this beautifully.
Okay, that's definitely a big topic for a lot of people. How does the book approach it?
It tells the story of Davasir, a camel trader, and his inspiring journey out of debt.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Davasir's initial struggles came from overspending, spending more than he earned.
Yeah, that's a common trap.
It is, and it led him down this spiral of accumulating debt, feeling stressed and miserable.
So he was stuck in that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and never getting ahead.
Exactly. But then, a wise woman named Sira gave him this transformative advice.
Yeah.
View your debts as enemies to be fought.
Interesting perspective. Not just something to be ignored or tolerated, but actively confronted.
Right. Davasir took this to heart and committed to repaying his debts, guided by a gold lender named Mathon.
So he had a mentor to help him create a plan and stay accountable.
Exactly. The book even shows us Davasir's clay tablets, detailing his debt repayment strategy.
Oh, wow. Like a glimpse into ancient Babylonian budgeting.
Yeah.
What did his plan look like?
He saved 1/10 of his earnings, lived on 7/10, and dedicated 2/10 to paying off his creditors.
So a disciplined approach to allocating his income.
Right. And it worked. He reduced his debt, regained his self-respect, and even improved his relationships with his creditors.
So it's a win-win situation. You become financially healthier, and you build trust with the people you owe.
Precisely. The book also gives a modern-day example, the Shrewsbury family, who used Davasir's principles to overcome their debt.
Okay, so this ancient wisdom is still relevant and applicable today.
Absolutely. Another crucial aspect of building wealth, according to the richest man in Babylon, is the value of hard work and entrepreneurial spirit.
So it's not just about managing money, it's about creating wealth through work and enterprise.
Exactly. The book introduces us to Sharunada, a wealthy merchant, and his concern for a young man named Hadan Gula who lacks ambition.
So he's trying to teach him the importance of having a strong work ethic.
You got it. Sharunada points to 3 old men who've been plowing the same field for 40 years.
A poignant image of stagnation, a life without progress or growth.
Exactly. Then he reflects on his own past as a slave. How hard work was his path to freedom and partnership with the Red Gula.
So he's showing that work can be a stepping stone to a better life, not just a burden.
Precisely. The book then shares a powerful quote from a wise farmer. Work is my best friend.
A simple yet profound statement.
Through these examples, Hadan Gula realizes that work is not just for slaves, but a key to success.
It's about taking ownership of your life and your future through hard work and dedication.
Exactly. To understand the context of these lessons, the book gives us a glimpse into Babylon itself, its history and achievements.
Okay, so we're going beyond just personal finance and looking at the bigger picture.
Right. It talks about Babylon's reputation as a wealthy and influential city.
A center of trade and innovation.
Exactly. But the book emphasizes that Babylon's wealth wasn't just from natural resources, but from human ingenuity.
So it was created through their hard work, their innovation, their collaboration.
Precisely. It mentions their impressive irrigation systems and extensive trade networks.
So they created prosperity through their own efforts, not just because they were lucky to have abundant resources.
Exactly. And even though Babylon eventually declined, its wisdom and financial principles have endured.
That's quite a legacy.
It is. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, the core message from ancient Babylon is clear. The principles of wealth accumulation are timeless and available to everyone.
So it's not about some secret formula or exclusive club. It's about fundamental principles anyone can apply.
Exactly. These principles aren't about fancy financial tricks. They're about human behaviors that have worked for centuries.
Like saving consistently, budgeting wisely, investing thoughtfully, protecting your assets, planning for the future, and increasing your earning potential.
You got it. It's about taking action, seizing opportunities, and addressing debt proactively.
So it's a holistic approach to building a secure and fulfilling financial life.
Precisely. We hope this deep dive into the richest man in Babylon has given you some valuable insights.
Yeah, it's been really insightful.
We tried to make it clear, practical, and not too overwhelming. The power of these principles lies in consistently applying them over time.
So it's about taking small steps and building those good financial habits.
Exactly. And on that note, here's a final thought to ponder. As you reflect on these Babylonian principles, which one resonates most strongly with you right now?
That's a good question.
And what's one small, concrete action you can take today to start implementing it in your own life?
So it's about turning knowledge into action, taking that first step, no matter how small.
Exactly. The journey towards a fuller and happier life, guided by sound financial principles, can indeed begin with a single, determined action.
Thanks for taking us back to ancient Babylon. It's amazing how these ancient principles are still so relevant today.
You got it. Until next time.
See you.